morning, YouTube. This is Chris with billetbox.info. And as promised, we have another RBA to look at today. Got this one in yesterday before work. Didn't have time before work. Did another one last night. This one I got to get done before work because I want to give it a try. Yeah, I got to hurry up and get this one done because I've got to go to the post office and send something to Texas, send something to Europe, UK. And, well, it's 66 degrees outside, and I want to ride, too. But I got to go to work at 4 o'clock, or start at 3:30. So, anyway, we have the HMMR RBA from Psychomods. They're out of Spain, I believe. The specs on it says made in Europe, but yeah. Side airflow. Integrated 510, no cool adapter needed for it. Made of 316 stainless steel, peak insulators, peak inserts for the airflow, which is kind of interesting. Gold-plated brass, all that good stuff. That's the specs. You'll get inside of here. We're going to have the RBA itself, an Allen key, some spares, and airflow inserts. And I'll tell you about the airflow inserts. They're a little interesting. Hadn't seen any videos or demos on this, so we're going to fly by the seat of our pants on this one as well. But it is the Hammer by Psychomods. And yeah, should be really interesting. Here we go. I'm going to take you down right away. Get a vape real quick here. What I got in there? Oh, that's the dope. I move things around in my devices so much that sometimes I don't even know what I have in each. So, I mean, the thing is about these RBAs, most RBAs aren't very comparable with each other. Just, minor differences that affect the flavor or the airflow and whatnot. But yeah, if you're vaping the same flavor in every RBA, you might be a little hard pressed to tell the difference between a few of them. So anyway, Hammer RBA, nice box. Looks like it flips right up here. Nothing printed on the box other than Hammer. So here we go. What do we got here? Sticker, Psychomod sticker. Set that aside somewhere. Got the RBA itself. Looks pretty good. A little dust right there. We'll look closer at that in a moment. What do we have under here? Okay, these are going to be our peak inserts. I'll tell you about the specs on those. Let's do that right now. There's the inserts that are going to be in here. Should be the full wide open, which will give you 4mm airflow. We'll look at those and figure out how to pull those out and put these in. Looks like they just slide into the sides or something. The ones with the one hole, those are should be, I think, 1mm. Well, maybe. Okay, maybe the one that's solid, the solid one, does that have a hole somewhere on there? The solid one should probably be the 1mm. The one hole is probably 2mm. The two holes probably the 3mm. And if I'm not mistaken, the ones that are going to be in here don't go. They're like half the length of these, and they don't have any restriction at all in basically wide open 4mm. So anyway, you get all those with it. In here, this should be a spare bag. Can't pull that out though. There we go. A little baggie here with yeah, we got an Allen key. Ooh, that is small. I'm not sure what size that is. Hopefully it's probably 9mm because that's what I assumed and pulled out a 9mm. But we'll find out. All right, so unless we need that Allen key, I'm going to put that away. And that didn't come out, so there's nothing under there. That's all we got. So, the RBA itself. Got a removable chimney section. Nice wide open, probably 4 to 4.2mm inner diameter on that bore. Drip tips should have no problem in those. Well, let's just take that off. The top here. Oh, That's the inside. Machining looks really nice. Like I said, that's a 316L stainless steel. Let's see what these screws are. Yeah, they feel like 9mm. So, or yeah, 9mm hex. So this should work. Um, what we got going here is the airflow is going to come up through here. Well, not through there, through these holes here, because that's going to be flush on your 510 positive pin, or excuse me, not your 510, your positive pin. Air is going to come in all these holes here, and it's going to travel up through here. And as you see, there's no hole here. It's when it goes up in here, it's going through on both sides to here. And there's a hole down in that, I mean, inside of this hole here, there's a hole that comes up and it directs it to the side of the coil. So the coil is going to sit this way and the air is going to come in from both sides. And this is the peak inserts that we put in. Like I said, this should be, oh man, I gotta be careful, because if I take this out and it flies and I can't find it, then I won't be able to run this thing at max. Okay, that's not coming out very easy. Let's see if I can push it from in here. You know what? Hang on a minute. I have an idea. This is L-shaped. This Allen key that comes with it. We'll call this the airflow pin removal tool. Should be able to just push that out. Yeah, I felt it move a little bit. I'm trying to be really careful because I don't want to, there we go. I don't want to sling that thing out into my carpet and lose it. Very small little piece, but as like I said, I've seen pictures in the Psychomods Facebook group. And by the way, that's how you can order from their website, but I believe that you have to get a code to go on from the website when you order them. There's been some pre-orders. There was a pre-order in bottom feeders, I think, one of the squonk groups. But yeah, you see how it's not as long as these airflow pins. It's because it's not restricting that airflow at all. So if we wanted to knock it down to 3 or so, we'd probably put the one with the 2 holes in there. And I'm not going to do that, but I'm just showing you how. So it looks to me like this has got a, this will only go in one way. So I've got to use my bad eyesight to figure out which way this goes back in. The other ones won't be so hard because they're not as small. Okay, well that worked. That's in. Alright, there you go. That's how you change the airflow inserts. That's pretty ingenious. I like that. The posts, you can put a big honking coil under there if you want. Kind of like, just pull that screw up, slide under there on both sides, and that's it. Not a whole lot to see. I don't see any visible markings or serial numbers or anything anywhere on this deck. So clean and simple. And this shouldn't, oh, that actually, okay, look, this will screw, there we go, yeah. The positive pin can screw out if you want to take this apart to clean the deck. As you saw, if you were astutely watching, the positive pin is loose right now, and this peak protector around the base there keeps that separated. So let's get that tightened back up so we don't have a problem. Wonder why it was so loose to start with. Am I catching? Because it seems to be freely spinning. I must not have caught it. Yeah, I didn't actually get it to thread in there. Alright, so I'm going to hold that down. It looks like there's only a few threads to catch into that deck. So, you know what? Where's okay, this is not only our airflow pin removing tool, it's also going to be our get this screw started thing. Alright, catch. I think that caught. Yeah, there we go. All right. Oh, where'd you go? I'm going to put that through and turn it one more time just to make sure it's tight. Yep, that's good and tight. Good and tight. We shouldn't have any problems. So you have a hex key in here that is a airflow pin removal tool, help you screw this back in tool, and a post screw tool. All right, I'm goofy. Leave me alone. Let's build this thing. All right. Oh, okay. Is that separate? Yeah, I'm going to have to take this bottom piece out, which, in 1 second here, I got just the right thing to see if I can turn this off without having to put tool marks on it. Looks like this should be able to come off. Yeah, there we go. This bottom section comes off. Let's not lose that. Lose that, we're kind of probably screwed. Now we can screw this down onto our builder. There we go. That's it, guys. We're done. All right, so we're going to use a N80 3 wrap 2838 3mm .35 coffin coil today. I think just the last one in this box or this container should accommodate that big old nice beautiful coil just fine. Yeah, it'll be fine. And we're going to bust open this tin of Cloud 9 that Aaron Vasquez of Bottom Feeders and also an admin on Psychomod's Facebook group has sent over. I've never used this, so we'll have to figure that out, or you know what I'm saying. All right, that's our thing there. We don't want to lose that. All right, let's build this. This is a 3mm coil. Let me back these screws off. Yeah, these are small screws. There are some included in the spare bag. So, all right, got to line that up right there. I'm gonna go ahead and just tighten it down just a little bit. Get this side. This is a really easy post system. I like that. And it's holding down this coil wire just fine. Let me tighten that down a little bit more. And let's adjust this thing. We'll bring it up just a little bit. Oh, let's come over just a tad this way. Up, over, up, over. There we go. I think that's what I want right there. That should work. So, as you can see, I didn't actually note that here. This big old hole right there, that's going to be where your where your juice is going to come in and hit your coil. Oh, I can't put that down because the leads are hanging out, but you're going to see your cotton just hanging out there. It's very similar to the Zeta or the Exoset or even the Mob Mini or Mob Mini, if you will. So let's get this these leads cut. I want to get that as close to as I can, as to make sure that doesn't touch the chamber when we put it on. We'll make sure first and foremost before we get started, because I'm a little unsure about it. I'm having a little difficulty seeing into that little groove there. Come on. Oh, there we go. All right, that is not good. I didn't get that flush enough, in my opinion. All right, come on. There we go. All right. That should be fine. Before we mess with the coil, it's reading 0.36. And we're going to put the cap on. Still right at about 0.36. A little higher, but yeah. All right. So let's pulse this a little bit at 3.5 volts. There we go. I like it. I like it a lot. That's good right there. I like that. All right, we could do to move this a little more this way. A little bit more up. That's what we're going to go with, y'all. See if we're still pulsing good. 0.4. Yeah, there we go. Oh, now it's reading 0.56. That is not okay. There we go. 0.41. I can deal with that. That's about perfect for me. Make sure our post screws are completely tightened. And this reader's reading a little wonky, but it is what it is. Let's put some cotton in here and vape it. All right, this Cloud 9. This is some thick stuff here. I think I could just probably guesstimate about right there. That's probably a little too thick, but we'll go with this. Supposedly this cotton, I've never used Cloud 9 cotton ever. You'd think I have, but I hadn't. It's supposed to be very little break-in, if any. Good flavor right away from what I've heard. I've never used it, so I can't vouch for that. But let's roll some of this up and put it on here. I think I might have. One thing about that other cotton I've been using is it's already rolled up a little bit to the right size that we want. So I don't know how to really wick this thing, but what I'm going to guess is that we're just going to, what I'm going to do, which may or may not be right, but you know, we'll see, is I'm going to just take my cotton through, and then I'm going to put the, oh yeah, that was perfect. Very good guesstimation. I'm going to cut off about right here and about right here, which is going to be too long, but I'm going to cut some more off in a minute. I'm going to fluff it out a little bit. There's not a whole lot of extra fluff in this stuff. Then I'm going to form that back up. We'll put the cap on here. Like I said, this may or may not be the right way to do it, but I'm going to do it this way because, hey, I don't have a baseline. And then I'm going to take my scissors and just cut right there up against the section here. I'm going to take this back off, and I'm going to, oh, what are we going to use today? You know what? No, this is a chest pie by a company called Jago, made in New Zealand. I want to try it, I really do, but I don't know what it tastes like, so I'm not going to know how it should taste. So we're going to go with Old Faithful banana. I know what banana tastes like. This banana, excuse me. So I'm going to wick this up, get it nice and saturated, and hit it a couple times. Where are we at? We're still at 0.4. All right. Smells good. I'm a little bit, I want to make sure that I don't get any of that when I put this back on. So we're going to put this back on. Make sure it's seated. And then I'm going to take and push, not push it, but just kind of dab this in there to make sure that I've got all the opening covered. And there we have it. Let's try it. Okay, remember we have to put, before you put it back into your, or put it into your boro. Let's clean this thing up. I got it nice and juicy to get a little excess juice off of that. Let's make sure we put this ring off that we took off to be able to thread this into the reader. Make sure we put that back on, and then we're going to check that positive pin and make sure that it didn't loosen up. Now it's good to go. So now we're ready to throw this into a boro and go. We'll put it in this black armor boro. Should be able to just slide that right there. Take our chimney, push it in, line it up, push it down. There we go. I'm such a stickler for this kind of stuff. This is not a big deal, but I just don't like seeing. I mean, I know when I put juice in there, it's going to clean it up on its own, but yeah, that just bothers me. Just having all that extra juice there. All right, there's our glass. Slide this up here. See that it's the cotton is going right up against our glass. I don't think that's a bad thing. That's the way we used to do it with the Zeta. If you remember the Haku Zeta. I don't know how to say that. Haku or Haku. Haku. Alright. Got about probably a third or 2/3 of the boro of juice in there. Yep, about right. Let's give it a vape. Clean that up. Get out of my way, all you junk. Alright, we're going to put this in a different kind of billet. It's not a billet, it's a knot, but it's still basically a billet. Give me a drip tip. Where's the drip tip? We'll go with this drip tip. If it'll fit. Nope, this is an older, never normal drip tip that I have problems with a lot of RBAs these days. We'll go with the Bridge V2 drip tip. And what do we got? 0.38. Let's jack this up to about 33 watts. Yeah, let's go with 35. If y'all have ever noticed, I try to, I've always, you see the voltage in the middle there, I always shoot for about 3.9, 4 volts. So, all right, let's put this camera up and give it a first look here. That's the HMMR RBA in this device. Let's give it a hit. That's some good flavor. The airflow is wide the heck open. Very, very good airflow. And we've got wicking going on there, if you see. I don't know if it'll focus in, but big, nice bubbles there. Very good flavor. Definitely liking the airflow. Oh, that thing is wicking like a champ. Let me bring you back down and show you this wicking. This thing is doing a little bit of a bubble train for me. Let's see here. It made a liar out of me a few minutes ago. Yeah, there we go. Big bubbles coming up together. Not a lot of little bitty bubbles. Of course, if I had it upright, it'd be a little different. But yeah. Yeah, this is, you saw how easy that was to build and wick. And I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but going back down one more time, up and down, up and down. You see that channel on the I'm not 100% sure, but I'm gonna make a guess that that is off of the glass to give it a little air to come up on either side. Just a guess. I'm not a RBA designer, but that's what I'm guessing it's for. So anyway, let's do this. See if we can dry hit this thing. I don't think we can. This thing's wicking really good. Hang on. We'll pause this one. I just want one sip of my drink real quick. Here we go. One, two, three, four, five. Very good juicy flavor. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 0.38, hitting at 35 watts, wicking like a champ. The HMMR RBA. What's there to say about it? I kind of, I mean, I've got no negatives so far, but I will say that one thing right away that I think if I should get a syringe and start doing this, figuring out how much displacement each of these RBAs I look at actually, like 5.5 milliliters is how much a standard Boro, which this isn't a standard Boro, but it's very similar, so it should be right around 5.5 milliliters of capacity. With a coil bridge, like the original coil bridges that came with the stock billet box Boros, um, when you start putting, other stuff in the Boro, bigger RBAs and whatnot, you're going to displace, some of that liquid. If I had to guess, if I had a syringe, this is probably going to displace, it will probably have a capacity of about 4 milliliter in there with this thing in there. It's pretty big compared to, let's say, a dope or something like that. It's you're getting more juice in with a smaller RBA, and that's not a knock on this. I mean, it works great, and if you're willing to fill it up more often, I mean, same thing. The AMBB, I feel like I'm filling it more frequently than other RBAs. I believe it displaces a little bit more juice than some of the others that I'm used to using. Come off of there. Let's fill this all the way up now. Don't believe we're going to have any issues with leaking or having to re-wick it or anything. By the way, if you didn't know anything about these AMBB Boros, instead of pushing down on your glass and pulling it down like that, they put a notch up here on the top where you can just take your fingernail and do that if you wanted to. But I'm so used to up and down with fingers that I don't utilize that function. But yeah, so all right, let's see. Wicking good. Look at all them bubbles. All right, guys. Yeah. Ask me any questions in the comments. I'll try to answer them. But I'm pretty impressed. The flavor's there. It was really easy to wick. Really easy to. I mean, the coil placement is so easy. I mean, you saw I just pretty much just dropped it there and screwed them down. I didn't have to move it around or anything. Flavor's great. Let's see how it feels with the panel on. These panels really don't match this box, but Oh, that's even better. Just the side airflow on the box. Very nice. Yeah, this is with a 3 millimeter coil, 0.4 roughly, 0.38. 35 watts, 4mm airflow pin, which is, I mean, if you can't run it without those pins, because I think that if you did, that it would mess it up, because the airflow wouldn't come in from the bottom and then into the chamber. Some would escape out the sides. Although the chamber is up against that, there's still probably a millimeter or two spacing between that edge of that. So if you took the airflow pin out, or you lost that airflow pin, I don't think you'd get the same vape. So the hammer's up there. I do like this. Let me try a different drip tip. I don't know if I like this drip tip on here. Let's try it with something a little bigger. Let's put this mission booster on here. Make sure it's still connected just fine. 0.37. Doesn't change vape a whole lot. It's probably about the same bore, but excellent flavor. Excellent flavor. See how we're wicking still bubbling up. All right, guys, that's about it. This has been a first look at the HMMR RBA. I'm Chris with billetbox.info. Thanks for watching. Any questions you can ask down in the comments. And I appreciate y'all watching. Enjoy.